Papa and welcome to the VTuber Breakfast Club.
Welcome.
So, this is a brief 15-minute pick-me-up where we discuss a daily topic, field questions, and set our daily goals. For the question section, we have something called the mailbag where we check to see if we have any letters, so to speak, from you all at home. If you have any questions about anything whatsoever, want to send us a letter, drop it in the chat and we'll check it out later in the stream. Yeah. So without any further ado, let's dive into our daily discussion topic. What's it for today, Max?
It's the one that's on everyone's minds. You know what it is? It's the story that shook the world, or at least shook America. You know what it is. It's GameStonk.
Dun 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 dun! GameStonk.
Now, I've prepared a small video to explain exactly what happened here. Maybe slightly exaggerated, with some help from Elon Musk. We'll start with this, and then I'll explain it, because I think the video speaks for itself.
Alrighty, shall I roll the footage?
Roll the footage.
Alright.
GameStonk took off like a rocket, reaching over $400 in stock price. And then it got into some trouble, right in the top 400s. Started to fall a couple days later. It kept crashing down.
No.
And now, well, now you'll see what happens.
Oh
Now, to be fair, I may have exaggerated that last part.
no.
Technically, it didn't hit zero.
But negative zero.
$60.
It shows negative zero. How could it?
Oh, yes. It's not technically what happened, but with the exception of it hitting zero, that's a pretty accurate representation. Now, I know everyone's heard this already, so I'm not going to rehash all the details. What I wanted to talk about was kind of the nature of how organizations will change over time. When you get new... Whoa?
I mean, it sounds deep.
Oh, too deep for a morning topic?
No, go for it.
Okay.
I'm intrigued.
Well, I was going to talk about how basically organizations change over time as an influx of new people come in, and they essentially don't understand the inside jokes of the original organization, and they end up misinterpreting a lot of it. A lot of things that were originally ironic now become the norm. And so what I'm going to talk about is actually what happened with Wall Street Bets, what happened, like that whole GameStop debacle, and the way it sort of fundamentally changed everything. So if you don't know, I'm sure you know this. About a year ago, a couple of prominent Reddit investors, internet investors, decided to invest in GameStop stock. And they started investing in it because they thought it was going to increase. GameStop had a lot of shorts against it, which means people were betting on the stock going down. They borrow shares, sell them, and then buy them back at a later time. It's great if the stock goes down, not if it goes back up. So GameStop started going up earlier this year. And what ended up happening was people piled onto it. They basically forced short sellers to buy back more stock, which caused the price to go up even more. This is called a short squeeze. And the price skyrocketed up to $400. Yeah. And then a lot of people sold out and got out of their positions and sold it, and it crashed back down. Now, that's the part that you know.
Yeah. That's like the story that hit the headlines.
Yes. And this is where things get interesting, because there was this narrative that emerged that the purpose of the short was to take down hedge funds. The idea was that the goal was to take down a hedge fund.
Stick it to the man.
Yeah, this is why I'm so glad I'm a Stonkstuber. because Jim Cramer over at CNBC basically said to people, Reddit is taking on hedge funds, which is true.
Yes.
But
What?
it wasn't. It depends how you interpret that statement.
Hmm.
They're taking on hedge funds in order to screw them over to make money.
Hmm. I see.
But there was no greater social cause to it than that.
Oh, like they just wanted to give the middle finger to the hedge funds.
Well, it depends what you mean by that.
Hmm.
So a brief history of Wall Street bets. This is what I wanted to get into.
Oh yeah.
Wall Street bets, for those of you who don't know, it's been in the news all day, but people don't seem to understand what it is. I'll give you the breakdown of what Wall Street bets actually was, because I've been looking at it for a few years, and it's really changed over the years. It started off basically with young professionals and fairly wealthy guys doing day trading and having penny stock competitions. It was it was basically Wall Street guys, sort of young, wealthy broker types who really knew what they were doing in the stock market, and they essentially had competitions for fun.
Yeah, hence the penny
Just
stocks, right?
yeah, playing in penny stocks and making these sort of risky calls. Basically, young guys with play money having fun in the stock market.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's what it started off as.
Mm.
And then it became this place for these really risky bets. And
did it get like bigger and bigger over time? I know it became
yes,
renowned for like crazy, like hundreds of thousands, $1 million bets and that sort of stuff.
yes, and that's what it became known for because it started off with sort of fun little side bets, basically.
Oh, but then like the real bravado actually expanded.
Yeah, so basically, oh, you got raided.
Oh, whoa! Oh, hey! Hi, Sam! Oh!
All
No,
right, I guess you're being raided.
thank you for the raid! And welcome to the show. We're talking about Wall Street bets and how it's come to change over time. That's the topic of the day in light of recent game stonks and Wall Street bet shenanigans. Yeah, I guess it never really held a formal debut, but this is the debut of our VTuber Breakfast Club show. Our little daily morning show every weekday.
Yeah, we're giving a brief rundown of what's happened over the past week. But yeah, when it comes to Wall Street bets, it started off as basically a bunch of young, wealthy guys who like to make these little side bets into penny stocks, where they essentially had play money, and they decided to. Is this a podcast? I wouldn't say it's a pod. I wouldn't say it's a podcast.
I mean,
It's more
I
like
don't
just
know.
a morning conversation.
I guess so.
Just a way for us to wake up so we don't sleep in.
Yeah, but it is true that we're not playing like games or anything per se though. It is mostly just chatting between each other with you guys. Interactive podcast of sorts.
Yeah, if you have any questions, just shout them out.
Yeah, you can join the discussion.
But yeah, so anyway, Wall Street bets, young guys making penny trades for fun because they had play money and they were all financial guys. And that's how it started off. And then it ended up morphing into this subreddit where people made these massive bets, just these gigantic, life-changing bets. And some guys lost it all. And then you saw all these posts of people losing incredible amounts of money. Breakfast brunch.
Breakfast
I guess it's 8 a.m. It's still breakfast.
Yeah. Breakfast time.
Yeah. I guess we should be talking about breakfast instead, but
But we do have this beautiful cup of coffee in the foreground.
I know. Look at how great that is.
Might actually make some coffee.
Maybe we should. Breakfast brunch is a movie. Oh.
Breakfast. Oh,
I've
I think
never
this is
seen that movie.
breakfast lunch. But yeah. Ah.
I guess I should watch it. I'm assuming it's a movie about breakfast.
Of course, it couldn't possibly be. And before something totally different.
Maybe it subverts your expectations. It's a movie about dinner.
Oh my. Way to pull the bait and switch. Oh,
Should I continue, or it's not exactly a movie about breakfast brunch? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, when the whole GameStop thing happened, what ended up happening was a lot of people who had no idea what Wall Street Bets was saw the subreddit and saw all these big risky moves that these guys made.
All the big money.
Yeah, they saw the big money, and there was this like sentiment where people thought, "Oh, I guess these guys are giving like stock advice. Cool." And so people started jumping in, right? And they're like, "Well, I'll jump in and I'll start following this stock advice." They didn't understand that Wall Street Bets was always gambling.
Yeah,
It was just
it was a
yeah,
playground.
yeah. It was mostly Wall Street guys, just young financial traders who had play money to play around with. And then as soon as it became popular, and when Jim Cramer told this story that they were going up against Wall Street,
Yeah.
it ended up being the case that people interpreted that as it was like a coordinated attack, so that people coordinated to make money, when the reality is that was never the case. And so all these people started buying into GameStop stock to try and make money on it.
Yeah.
But they didn't understand that the whole point of Wall Street Bets was to become like the Wall Street elite or die trying, like millionaire or bankrupt, nothing in between.
Yeah.
And just thousands and thousands of people bought into it way too late.
Right, right.
I just thought it was the funniest thing. But it's funny when you look at the posts on the subreddit. Do you have that one image I shared with you?
Oh, I do, I do. Let me pull that up. Let's see. Yeah.
This is the
Great
perfect encapsulation. This is perfect. This perfectly describes the entire GameStop debacle.
Oh, bye, Sam. Oh, thank you for stopping by, and thank you so much for the raid. Oh, have a wonderful, wonderful day, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. So, so it's always good to start the day with some good memes. This is basically a perfect encapsulation where people came across Wall Street Bets. They said, "Oh, what is this? Oh, I guess we're all holding the line. We're fighting against the hedge funds." And they all bought into it and said, like, "Okay, we'll never sell. We'll stick it to Wall Street somehow, and we'll beat them, and we'll squeeze them, and it's gonna make us all millionaires."
They're trying
And
to be
they
like Robin Hood, Internet Robin Hood.
Yeah, well, they were trying to be literally like Robin Hood.
Oh, yeah.
And so people had this idea that Wall Street Bets was now this coordinated organization that was going to make them all rich. And then people had to justify losing all this money by saying, "Oh, GameStop is actually a value investment now. It's a value investment. It's really a good idea long term." They had to
Long-term
make up
hold.
all these excuses. Yeah. You can stop showing the image. I just thought it was really funny that
Yeah.
so many people, after losing a ton of money on what can only be described as like a nonsense investment,
Yeah.
basically tried to justify it by saying, "Oh, we're sticking it to the hedge funds somehow," you know, by holding on to the stock and saying it's a value investment. But
Yeah.
it's just that all the people who came in afterwards
Right.
didn't understand that Wall Street Bets was never about coordinated attacks. It was never about the little guy standing up to the big hedge funds. It was always about becoming Wall Street or you would die trying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just because there were so many new people who came in with that idea, it completely changed the organization, so to speak.
Right, like the culture got like, I guess, both diluted and just, I guess, distorted due to the
Hmm.
great influx of new perspective. Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's what happens with any organization that gets a big influx of new people.
True, true. Like when a company hires like really quickly as well, a similar thing can happen. Like
Hmm.
that sort of, I guess, culture maintenance isn't kept in place.
Yeah, and I don't know how you would solve that problem, but it seems to
Hmm.
happen with every organization that takes in new people at a fairly high rate.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to like hold up to the I guess the new ideas or new practices come.
Well, it's everybody comes in with their own preconception of what it's like,
Ah, true.
and that ends up shaping the new country as that becomes the dominant force. There's
Mm-hmm.
a quote by Mark Twain, I think. Any group that acts like fools
Mm.
or pretends to be a fool will soon find themselves surrounded by fools.
Ah, because because
And that's what happened
people
with Wall
join.
Street Bets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They pretended to be fools when they were actually really smart financial guys making risky bets.
Yeah, yeah.
But they pretended to be fools and they say, I lost it all in the stock market,
Mm-hmm.
etc.
Mm-hmm.
They pretended to be fools. And
And
then
then
they found themselves surrounded by actual fools.
yeah, everyone drinking the Kool-Aid, thinking, "Yeah, I'm go big or go home all the way," and you're like, "Ah."
Yeah, Elon is with us. He's on our side. When really that was all just a big joke.
I
It's just
see.
that the people pretending to be fools convinced everyone that they were fools.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh man.
So that's the story of Wall Street Bets.
That's the story of Wall Street bets. I guess, like anything, the end of an era of sorts. Once it grows out from the existence it once used. Oh man. Oh, thank you for leading this insightful topic. Oh man. History of Wall Street.
Yeah, that's my topic for the day. I thought it'd be interesting to discuss.
Yeah, especially given all the recent shenanigans happening.
Long story short, don't expect that stock price to go back up anytime soon.
Yeah.
Did you ever consider buying into it?
Mm, not really. I've considered more seriously like other things before. This came up so quickly and was very clearly so hype driven. Um, and it's kind of like one of those things I don't stay too in tune with the market. By the time I hear about it, it's usually already too late. For as far as these very, very hype driven type of things. Like again, like I didn't hear about it until I don't know, we were in like the 300, 400 range. So I'm like, ah.
You're smart though. I also saw it when the price spiked up when it was on CNBC, and I thought as soon as it hits mainstream news, it's already too late, so there's no reason to invest.
Yeah, and at that point, just sit back, enjoy the show, and don't pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to see the show.
Yes, it's a free show. Admission is not required.
Yeah, yeah.
I
uh,
also saw Dogecoin, which is also spiking up,
oh yeah.
but I would not invest in that either.
No, 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 Doge. Doge is cute, but oh man, as currency, I don't even know if anything accepts Doge as payment. Like
No, I don't think so.
it's just a meme collectible basically.
And there's an infinite number of them.
Right? Like
Yeah, Dogecoin isn't limited like Bitcoin is. You can
oh,
produce more Dogecoin,
just
which makes it a truly useless currency.
it's just like any other currency that could be printed.
Yeah,
Except
basically,
that
yeah.
no one accepts it. Like paying in pebbles.
Yeah, you might as well be paying in sand.
Mm, there is some really nice sand, actually. There are some beaches that have like such nice sand that like sand thieving was an issue. Like people would come to the
Oh
beaches,
yeah.
steal the sand from the nice beaches, and then dump it on their other beaches that had less nice sand to try to make their own beaches more attractive. But this is actually a very serious issue.
I've
Um,
heard of that, yeah.
yeah, that's like, well, interesting fact of the day. Sand is precious depending on what.
Well, that was our morning wake up.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yes, for the new peeps joining in, we do have a segment called the mailbag where we take absolutely random questions from you guys about absolutely anything. If you have any questions, the weirder the better. It doesn't have to be related to our topic. Just drop them in the chat, and we'll rummage through our mailbag and address them live. Yeah, so if you
So I
think
guess
of
we
it,
already kind of did.
yeah,
But
did some chatting a bit. But if you have anything, drop it in. And I guess, meanwhile, now we hop to our closing segment about daily goals.
daily goals, let's do it.
Yeah! Establish your direction for the day.
Mm.
Alrighty, let's see. The daily goals. Wanna go first?
Yeah, I know what my daily goal is today.
Oh boy, oh boy. What's your daily goal?
I kind of got in some big, I don't want to say big trouble, but I made some big problems at work.
Oh no!
So today I've got to go write a retrospective about what went wrong. So that's my goal for the day.
To learn, reflect, and retrospect. I mean, hey, it's the way to move forward. So painful, but good. Painful, but. Oh
What's
man,
your goal for the day?
my daily goal? Ooh. As maybe a cheatsy want to be like, oh, sleep a little earlier. I didn't go to sleep quite early enough, so still kind of sleepy this morning. But otherwise though, actual goal. Maybe start packing up. I'll be moving to a new town kind of soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'll start looking into that just after this, you know. Yeah, I think that's good. Start prepping for packing.
Nice. That's a good goal.
Yours sounds particularly useful. Provides future growth. Mine is more like, hey, it's a to do, but you know, important but to do.
Mine's a professional goal. I am a professional after all.
Yes. You couldn't possibly not be a professional with a suit like that.
Of course. That's how I can afford these fancy suits. All right, well, I guess we'll call it there.
Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in for the VTuber Breakfast Club. We'll be here, same place, same time, and you know, every morning, weekday morning, 8 a.m. here on Twitch and YouTube. So, alrighty, thanks for tuning in. So we'll call it there.